is Topic Tuesday. My name is Jorie Houlihan. I'm your guide for the dopamine deprived. I come on here live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about something ADHD related for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Today I am doing it outside because it is a gorgeous day and I have not gotten as much outside time this summer as I would like. It's the first summer in a long time I don't have a laptop, so I can't just like come out and work outside. Um, so I squeeze this in. I'm very spoiled. I have this gorgeous pond here to sit next to when I do come out here for breaks. I love it. So anyway, so please excuse my busy hair and weird lighting. Okay, anyway, how are you? So, we are going to be talking about ADHD and follow through or our lack thereof. So, starting things, we can sometimes do okay. I've certainly gotten better about it since my diagnosis. Follow through can be where we kind of really struggle, right? Even if we get started, that follow through can be a real struggle for a lot of us. So, it is one of the biggest ADHD frustrations out there, right? Anyone agree with that? It has been for me, that's for sure. And you'll have to excuse me. I have my notes down here because I will forget and I will go off track. All right, so anyway, but somewhere between this is a great idea and this is complete, we tend to vanish a little bit. So we're going to talk about what's actually going on and how to move forward without all the shame wrapped around it like we normally do. Okay, so why is follow through so hard for ADHD brains? Right? You're not flaky. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you're not committed, right? And it's not a personality flaw. You're not broken. I promise you, you're not broken. It feels like it sometimes, but you're not. I assure you. Okay, so here's what's really going on. So, first of all, ADHD brains just really struggle to maintain motivation over time. And because what starts as exciting, right? Like it's new and new equals dopamine. Am I right? It then becomes routine and or boring. And that's where we tend to drift off. We also struggle with working memory. So we will sometimes forget that we have a next task or what the next step is, or even why we started doing this thing in the first place. And initiation is not the same as continuation, right? The ADHD often makes us feel really great in the beginning because we started something. We're like, yeah, we did it. But then we hit this kind of foggy middle sometimes. And that again is also due to poor working memory and time blindness. And it's in that part that we tend to stall. So it's not, in this case, it's not necessarily procrastination. It's just sort of, your brain just took a break and didn't let us know. So do any of these sound familiar? Okay, here are some common follow through traps for people with ADHD. The first one is getting stuck between steps, especially if the next step is kind of vague. You're not really sure what the next step is, or if it's boring, right? We have a very purpose or interest driven nervous system. So if it's boring, it makes it way harder for us to do. Perfectionism. If I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it at all, which of course is a very quick way to accomplish nothing. And this ran my life for most of my life. Underestimating time. Remember, we talked about this a few sessions ago where we talked about time optimism. We tend to be very optimistic about how long things will take to do. So if we underestimate the time or energy that is needed to complete the project or the task, losing interest after the planning phase. I have been definitely guilty of that. I get so much dopamine from planning things out, but then when I actually have to do it, it goes right into that routine mode and my brain's like, I don't really feel like it, right? And then lastly, avoiding the task because of shame and or overwhelm. So I can tell you, I can say yes to every single one of those. I don't know about you. It it's really kind of stunning to me still that it took almost 50 years for me to get diagnosed. Anyway, none of these things are character flaws, like I said. If you have a different operating system, you just need to figure out how it works. So, what are some things that you can do to be better at the follow through? All right. So the first thing is create a finish line that you can see. So if you'll remember when we talked about time blindness in one of these, so there's now and there's not now, and not now doesn't exist for ADHD brains, right? So if you have a project, that finish line is way down in not now land, right? And even if it is one thing, like let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So instead of saying, let's clean the kitchen, that's very big, it's very vague, right? You can start with, okay, let's unload the dishwasher and wipe down the counters. First of all, it's much more specific, and you can see the finish line happening that day, okay? Then once you complete that, then you can say, "Okay, I'm still motivated. Maybe now we're gonna sweep and then wash the floor. Maybe just sweep the floor, whatever works, but make the finish line where you can actually see it, and then every time you hit one of those, that's gonna give you some dopamine. That's gonna help to keep your motivation going, and if you do the first couple things and then it fades off, you still did more than you would have otherwise, okay? The second thing you can do is to name the foggy middle that I was talking about sooner. Do it, like, from the start. When you hit that foggy middle, you say, "You know what? This is the place where I usually stop, where I don't keep going, but instead of doing that, I'm just gonna go slower." Because sometimes you have to figure out why it's foggy, right? Is it because maybe it's just not a clear next step? Maybe the step is boring and you have to find a way to gamify it. Maybe you need to review why this is important to you in the first place. Whatever it is, just go slow with it. We have very fast moving brains and we're always trying to go through things super fast, whether we know we are doing that or not. And it's okay to slow down. Please slow down. Use visual progress tools. This one I cannot recommend enough. Okay, whether it is visual timers, checklists, whiteboards, something that is going to give you a visual cue that you are actually making progress. You can even get creative. Do you remember? I don't know. When I was growing up, they would have fundraisers at my school all the time, and they would have this giant like thermometer, and we'd have to fill it in as the money was coming in to get to our goal. You can do that too. Just do that on a piece of paper. Draw a thermometer and color it in as you're going through. Just make it fun. It doesn't even when it's a boring task, this can be a way to gamify it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get accountability. I say this a lot. Accountability will change your life for the better in every way. Okay. Whether it's body doubling, whether it is texting a friend or doing, setting a done check in with somebody. It's a way to help keep you accountable. It's a way to keep you going without feeling overwhelmed by it. Okay. But external accountability, non negotiable if you have ADHD. It just is. And then this one's going to kill a lot of you right now. Permission to finish imperfectly. This is so hard for me. And I admit this. It is so hard when I have such a strong perfectionistic streak. And so it is very hard for me to be okay with it's good enough, right? And I've talked about this before, but it is so important to learn how to do that. Okay. It can be, y- you just think of it as, sometimes you just need to get it done and it's okay if it's a B minus instead of an A plus. All right. So I hope that these will help you. Um, Figure out new ways of helping yourself to follow through because follow through really is such an Achilles heel for us and it is such it is so heartbreaking when you put so much effort in the beginning and then like I mean my house has in the past been excuse me here has been literally a graveyard of started and not finished new hobbies and projects, etc. And I do it a lot less now. I actually will say, "Is this something I will actually follow through with?" And sometimes I'm still wrong and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm totally going to." And then I don't. But now I know the better questions to ask. So I can say, "Okay, what is keeping me from following through on this?" And a lot of times, again, it sometimes it is because it's just boring and our nervous system is not designed for that. And so gamifying things, like I said, can be a really big help to help you kind of push over the finish line, being competitive with yourself, things like that. So put in the chat, put in the comments, what is something that you have struggled with in terms of follow through? And what is something that you might try next time so that maybe you'll have a better shot of actually finishing it, even if it is finished enough. All right. All right. So I am so happy you guys are all here. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, we've got a great group today. Thank you all for being on. And hi, Dion. And so yeah, let me know what are some things that you've struggled with finishing or following through on, and what might you try that I suggested, or maybe it triggered another idea. Share that with the group because I feel like we should all have as many options as possible with this kind of thing. And hey, Kim. And I hope that this has helped you. I'm sorry if you can hear that. My husband is cutting wood or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's summer at my house. This is all that's going on. So enjoy the weather if you're in a good weather area, and enjoy your week. And I hope that everyone is doing really well. And I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great one.